Hey Leo, let's see what's going on in your love life. This is a tarot love reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and of course for any of you lovely cross watchers dealing with a Leo romantically. Now, I do always like to remind you, Leo, that these are general readings, so they may or may not resonate, and you are, of course, welcome to take what works and leave the rest. So we're jumping right into it today, my loves, and we're going to see what could be coming toward Leo in love. First message coming out today for Leo says, I want to feel that way again. Very interesting. Definitely giving the vibe of somebody who is wishing that things could go back to the way that they were before. Maybe someone who's thinking about you, remembering the good times, remembering the good moments in your connection. Let's see where this goes. Tell me more about what could be coming toward Leo right now. I hid who I really am from you. Oh, also interesting, you guys. So it's kind of like we've got the energy of somebody who really struggled to open up to you and be vulnerable with you. It's kind of the energy of always keeping you at arm's length. And maybe you experience this, Leo. Maybe every time that you tried to get close to this person, you would feel them pull back a little bit or push you away. It's like they wanted to get close to you, but they struggled with that closeness. Tell me more about what could be coming toward Leo right now, please. I love you. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is going to be a very, very interesting reading today, Leo, because first of all, we've got somebody here who obviously loves you very, very much, okay? But it almost looks like they've pushed you away because we did have the message, I hid who I really am from you. So there's a sense of them hiding, not being open. And like I said, I get the feeling like they probably pushed you away. Like you could feel them do things to create distance in the relationship when things started to get close between the two of you. My sense here is like they don't want to do that, if that makes sense. It could be like they're uncomfortable when things get too close. Maybe they've got really close with somebody in the past before and they ended up getting hurt. So then when they start to get close to you, even though they do want to be close to you and even though they love you, they might end up getting scared and pulling back. And it's like there's this desire here where they want to feel that way again. They do want to connect with you. They do want to go deeper with you. They do want to open up and be emotionally vulnerable. But I do think it is something that they struggle with and they get scared and maybe they kind of freak out, right? Now, it's a general reading, so take this if and how it connects. The way that I see this is like you could still be connected with this person, but maybe things are a little bit weird right now because they've recently pulled back. Maybe even for some of you, you're separated from this person, you're no longer together. So just take it how it might resonate for you. But I feel this person, like they do really want to just love you, Leo. They do want to really just be with you. But I think they struggle with that aspect of being vulnerable and really opening up, but they do want to. So it's kind of fascinating. Here's what we're going to do for the rest of the reading. Let's look more at them, Leo, and let's look more at you and see where it goes. So we're going to look at their overall energy, what they could be feeling, what actions they could be taking, and we'll look at the same for you, and we'll look at the potential outcomes. So let's see if we can find out a little bit more about this person, please. First card coming out is the Judgment card. This is big energy, Leo, to suggest that somebody is coming towards you asking for forgiveness and a second chance. Like I said, you know, my heart kind of goes out to this person because I really feel that this is someone who does want to love you and does want to be with you, but they're holding back. And the thing is, when we hold back, there's usually a good reason for it. And as I said a few moments ago, maybe they've been hurt really badly in a bad relationship. They had a really bad breakup. Maybe they have feelings of being abandoned before in past relationships, whether that's romantic or family or friendships. So I get the sense that your person is like carrying this emotional baggage. It's not that they don't want to love you. It's not that they don't want to be with you, Leo, but it is hard for them, I think, to get past their fears. Now, I do think your person is trying to do that. I do think that the Judgment card indicates that they realize they do want to be with you. This is a card of compatibility. It's about finding somebody who we're meant to be with. And I do think they want to be with you. And they're starting to recognize maybe the ways in which they've pushed you away. And the Judgment card to me is saying like they could be coming around right now asking for forgiveness and a second chance. Okay, tell me more about this person's energy, please. The Nine of Cups, okay? I do think this is someone who means well. I do think that this is someone who is quite genuine in their intentions. This is giving me the vibe of like, I want to make all of your dreams come true. So I'm not getting like malicious, negative energy here. I actually think your person is even upset with themselves because I just keep getting like they don't want to push you away, but they can't help it because they get scared. And that's not an excuse for their behavior, Leo. It's just like a potential explanation, but I'm kind of trying to differentiate because I do a lot of readings on my channel, and sometimes we do get readings where it's like someone's sneaking around, somebody's hiding things, somebody's purposely being deceptive. That's not the vibe I'm getting in this reading. I do think they could be pushing you away, but it's not like a malicious thing. I think they do genuinely want to be with you. I just keep getting the message they get scared and then they pull back. Tell me more about this person's energy, please. And then the world, they want to make you happy. They want to make you feel satisfied, fulfilled. Like they want to have a good relationship with you. I think they're hoping for like a new start. The world is a completion of a cycle. Maybe they're hoping that what I'm getting is they want to be better for you. They want to, be different in a good way for you. Like they want to leave behind this cycle where maybe they get scared when people get too close and then they push them away. So I think your person is starting to recognize that they need to make some changes because it's holding them back from fully embracing this connection between the two of you. Okay, tell me what they could be feeling right now, please. The Seven of Cups, yeah. Seven of Cups is like this confusing energy, which to me, it honestly perfectly characterizes what we've been seeing. I suspect that your person has a lot of feelings that are all over the place, okay? On the one hand, we know that they love you, okay? We know that they love you. We know that they care about you, Leo. But then we also saw the message, but I hide myself from you. I don't really open up, but I also want to go back to the way things were before. I want to feel that way again. And so I think your person, when it comes to love and romantic relationships, it brings up a lot of complicated feelings for them, which is what the Seven of Cups speaks to. Because it's like, on the one hand, they can feel themselves falling in love with you, but then on the other, they have these fears, these anxieties, these things that are holding them back. And that's where we get that confusion. Tell me more about what this person could be feeling, please. The Seven of Wands, yeah. It's like they get confused, they get in their feelings, it feels emotionally overwhelming, and then they shut down, right? This is what I think you've experienced with them, Leo, where they literally put up that shield, they go cold, it's a defense thing. They might not even really realize they're doing it in the moment, but it's like a shutdown reaction. Things get too close, they get scared, the wall goes up, right? They get overwhelmed with their feelings, they don't know how to handle it, and then they push you away. Tell me more about what they could be feeling right now. Three of Swords, they don't want to get hurt. Yeah, it's a protective thing, you guys. Again, I'm not excusing this. I'm just explaining what might be going on. I'm going to say whatever has happened for your person, again, general rating, take it or leave it. Maybe this doesn't resonate, but for those of you who are connecting with the energy, I feel your person has really been hurt before by somebody, okay? And I think that that pain is still very much present in order for us to be having the Three of Swords showing up in their emotions right now. There is something that hurt them that is still weighing heavy on their heart. And what I see here is that because it doesn't look like they fully dealt with whatever that situation is, Leo, it's weighing on them and it's interfering with their ability to be fully open and available in the connection with you. Do I think they want to be fully open and available to you? I really do think they want that, Leo, but I think it's very hard for them because of this pain, whatever it is that's weighing on their heart, whatever this heaviness is. It's like when they get reminded of that pain, they go into that defensive mode with the Seven of Wands, and then they get all confused with the Seven of Cups because they're like, on the one hand, like I really want to be with Leo, but then they remember times when they've been hurt before or a relationship went sideways, and it just leads to these feelings of being emotionally overwhelmed. Interesting. So let's see what they could be doing. Let's look at their actions. The Nine of Wands, but they're fighting for you. Nine of Wands is somebody who's not ready to give up. It's like, even though things have been tough, I don't think they're walking away. And I do think that's why we had the Judgment card as the first card, Leo, where I was like, I think they could be asking for forgiveness and a second chance, trying to come towards you. I feel what I'm getting is they're gonna try to explain, but it might not come out in the most eloquent way. It might come out a little bit jumbled. I don't know why I'm intuitively picking up on that, but I just kind of feel that they're gonna come towards you and try to talk to you, Leo, but they might stumble on their words. They might get kind of tripped up because, there's a lot of feelings tied up in this, but I do think that they're coming towards you with good intentions, wanting to fight for the connection because they don't want to lose you. Tell me what other actions they could be taking right now, please. The Ace of Wands. This is about a fresh start and new beginning. I think it represents your person trying to feel hopeful and take action toward a fresh start with you. Maybe trying to say, I'm working on things. I want to show up for you and be better, and bringing that spark back into the relationship. They could be taking steps to try to do that. Tell me what other actions they could be taking, please. And then the Five of Pentacles, which is honestly super fascinating, you guys. We've talked about the Five of Pentacles before as an energy that can indicate fears of abandonment, which is like literally what I've been saying the whole reading, where I'm like, somebody hurt your person, their heart got broken. They're obviously not over it, but it's tough because I really feel they want to be with you and they want to be able to open up to you, but the pain gets in the way. And that's what the Five of Pentacles is. I'm hoping with this showing up in their actions, and given the fact that it's beside an ace, which represents a new beginning, I'm hoping this is your person taking action to sort through some of those fears and those insecurities and trying to work through it in a way where they're not living in this constant fear of being abandoned, because you can kind of see what the issue is, right? Like, they might really love you, but if in their mind they're constantly thinking that the relationship is going to fall apart or you could leave at any moment and they might not see it coming, like that's where the fear comes in. But if they're able to start to recognize that, then they can work with it, right? I feel, this is like my opinion, it's like the first step is identify what the issue is, right? It's like I think they need to be able to pinpoint why they're pulling away in moments, why they're getting scared. Once they're able to pinpoint it, it's something that they can work on if they want to, right? So it is possible for your person to grow and to change and to be better. They have to be willing to take the action. And I'm hoping with that Nine of Wands, which indicates that they want to fight for you, that they're going to start taking some steps to maybe address some of this pain and these fears that they've been holding on to. Do I think this is something that gets fixed overnight? No. Usually with stuff like this, it does take some time for somebody to work through things and heal. But if they're willing to do that, they can, right? Interesting. So let's look at you. Tell me about Leo's energy right now, the Ten of Swords. Okay. So from your perspective, you're just feeling really hurt by everything that's happened. Because here's the thing. It's like when we get into a relationship, how I look at it is that it's kind of like two imperfect people coming together and trying to make a life together, right? Because the reality is nobody is perfect. So each of us are going to bring in our own stuff, our own baggage into a relationship, and then we're going to interpret what's happening in that relationship from the lens of our experience, right? So for your person, they're looking at certain things from the lens of they're terrified of being abandoned, right? For you, you might be looking at what's happening and be coming up with another story, right? I think you're very hurt in the moments where they're not open, in the moments where they maybe hide themselves from you when they're not emotionally available. I think that's very hard for you. You might be creating stories about why they're doing that. And the thing is, those stories may or may not be accurate. Because with the Ten of Swords, that can be a card of betrayal. It can be a card associated with trust. So there might be part of you that's like, what are they hiding? Why are they hiding? Are they not trustworthy? Are they stepping out? Are they betraying me? And so then this gets complicated because now you're running these stories in your mind, trying to understand their behavior, but the stories we tell ourselves may or may not be true, right? Tell me more about Leo's energy, the Four of Cups. This is you withdrawing, I think, to protect yourself. If you don't understand why they're pulling back and then you get really hurt by that behavior, I see that the Four of Cups is you emotionally withdrawing, right? Tell me more about Leo's energy, and then the King of Cups, but the love is there. I do think there's a lot of love between you and this person, Leo. That is not the issue here. That's usually not what the issue is. And so on the one hand, it's like you're hurt that they've pulled back. I feel that your reaction has been to then pull back in turn. It's like we often react to what our partner does. And I think in this case, it's like they might pull back. And then when they do that, you're left feeling hurt, and then you pull back, and then you end up in a situation where neither of you are really communicating about what's happening here. But basically we got this King of Cups, which is like, but the love is there, right? Like the love doesn't just disappear. It sticks around, we don't just turn off love. And so I see what is going on here is that there's all this love, but it's tied up in these complicated feelings and maybe some of this complicated baggage that each of you might be bringing into the relationship. Tell me what Leo could be feeling. The Eight of Wands. It's like you just want to talk to them. You want to try to find a way to move forward. Tell me more, please. The Six of Wands. Okay. On the one hand, you're definitely emotionally hurt by what's happened, but on the other, I think you're still holding out hope that you guys can get past whatever this issue is and come out, victorious on the other end, which is what that Six of Wands energy is. Tell me more about what Leo could be feeling, please. And then the Fool, that's the energy of a fresh start and a new beginning, right? So, it's like right now, my sense is that there's a heaviness in the connection and things that have been left unsaid between the two of you. It's like both of you are hurting, both of you love each other, but both of you are not really understanding exactly where the other person is coming from. I do think there is a desire for both of you to want to have a fresh start though, if there's a way to do that, because we see that with the Fool. So let's see what actions you could be taking. The Magician. So the Magician is interesting. It is a card of manifestation. So it could be you trying to manifest a future with this person. It can also be a card of illusion. So I'm feeling that message a little bit more strongly because a magician is an individual who does tricks. So sometimes I do feel this in a tarot reading as an energy of an illusion that surrounds a connection. So why is this significant? Because we've talked about how maybe there's things right now that are left unsaid between the two of you. So neither of you are really understanding where the other person's coming from. And that makes it really hard to figure out how to do anything and how to move forward. So I feel like with the Magician in your actions, it's kind of like you trying to cut through the illusion. To me, this represents you taking action to try to start having those honest conversations so that each of you can better understand where the other person is coming from. Okay. Tell me more about what actions you could be taking. Knight of Wands. Trying to find a way forward. Your energy is coming through a bit more proactive, Leo, especially with that Eight of Wands and the Knight of Wands. So you might be the one who ends up having to initiate a conversation here. I do think your person's coming towards you. With that Judgment, I do think they're going to reach out. But you might have to help the conversation along, if that makes sense. Because like I said, they might reach out, but then they get all nervous and they start jumbling up their words. And I feel like in that moment, the way that you might be able to help the situation is to, stick around, give them time and space to say what they need to say, try to help move the conversation forward, ask questions that you have so that you can understand. Tell me more, please. And then the Nine of Pentacles, that's really good. I mean, the Nine of Pentacles is working on yourself, being confident, knowing your worth and knowing your value, right? Nine of Pentacles is an energy of not settling for less. And so I feel like the Nine of Pentacles is you starting to get clear on what are your boundaries, what are you looking for in a relationship, and being able to communicate those to this person. Because in order for the two of you to move forward, what I see here is that there's going to need to be some really good communication that needs to start to happen between the two of you. Because right now, I think you don't understand your person's behavior. So to you, you're just making up this story where you're are they, not committed anymore? Do they not care? That's not what we're seeing. I think they do really love you, and I think they've been hurt and they're scared, but you might not realize that that's why they're holding back. So I think that the communication needs to start to open, because then each of you can start to understand why you've been doing what you've been doing. So they might say, Leo, I'm so sorry. The reason I've been holding back is because I was so badly hurt before. I've realized now that whenever I start to get close with you, I push you away. I didn't mean to do that, but now I recognize I've still got some stuff that I need to work on, and I'm going to work on it. And then you might say, okay, well, the reason I've been pulling back is because I thought you didn't like me anymore, or I thought you didn't love me, or you didn't want to be with me because you would go cold and you would go quiet and I didn't know what was going on. And so each of you start to kind of explain from your own perspectives, what's happening. And that's where the Nine of Pentacles comes in. It's confidently communicating your experience and your, boundaries and what you need, seeing if you can make it work, but also not being scared to walk away if it's not working. So moment of truth here, Leo. Let's see what the potential outcome is. This is very interesting. I had 3 cards jumping out here. So I had the Devil, the Seven of Swords, and the Chariot, which is honestly really, really, really significant. So let's break down what could be happening. So let's talk about the Devil and the Seven of Swords, which came jumping out. Those are cards indicated with self-sabotage, hiding things, not being emotionally available, basically like everything that we've been talking about in terms of your person's energy. And so I think the outcome is saying like, look, there is an issue here. You can't ignore it. There is something significant going on here that is unhealthy for the relationship. And it's not good. It's causing strain. It's causing emotional heaviness. So the outcome is acknowledging that there is a problem here that needs to be addressed in your connection. However, the interesting thing is that the final card that came out here is the Chariot, okay? The Chariot is a card of willpower and determination, and it is a card that tends to show up when we're overcoming challenges. So it feels hopeful, and I'll tell you why, because we start with the Devil and the Seven of Swords in the outcome here, which is like, yes, there is a problem right now. The two of you are not communicating well. There are things that have been left unsaid. There are unhealthy things that you or them might be doing in the relationship to push the other person away. But the Chariot is saying, where there's a will, there's a way. This is something that you guys can work on. And I always say this, first of all, everyone has free will. So they get to do what they want. You can't control them. You have your own free will. So that's going to play into things. But if both of you want to be together and you want to work on things, you can, right? People always have the capacity to change and be better. So if there is as much love here as I see showing up in the cards, and both of you are willing to acknowledge how you've been showing up in the connection and actively take steps to work on those things, I think the Chariot is saying there is a way forward. Right? So this might be one of those situations where it honestly feels very emotionally heavy to me right now, Leo. Like if you're connecting with this energy, I feel like it's weighing on your heart, and I feel like it's weighing on your person's heart as well. And I think both of you love each other, but you're confused. So if you want to move things forward, I think communication is going to need to start to happen. Like I said, it might start with, I don't know why, like let me know if this ends up correct for you, Leo, but what it feels like is they might open the door, but you have to lead them through it. Like I keep getting this message, like they might make the initial outreach, but you're then going to have to help them continue to engage in those conversations, right? Like they might reach out, but because they're overwhelmed emotionally and they've got a lot going on, they might reach out and then get all jumbled up and not know what to say or say things, and they're like, I don't know how to say it. Like they're tripping on their words. That's what I'm getting. So you might have to like help them and be like, that's okay. Okay. Let's just, sit together. You can slow it down. Let's try to talk it through. So I just feel that there's almost a little bit of advice where it's like, they might open the door, but you have to help them walk through it. That's the message I'm getting, Leo. But I do think that there is love here. So if you guys want to work on things, you always can, obviously. But this hopefully can give you a little bit more insight into what might be going on in the dynamic and the potential to work through some of those issues. Okay? So that's what I see for you today, Leo. If you enjoyed this reading, you know what to do. Give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And of course, I wish you love, I wish you happiness, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.